Dear participants, I welcome all of you in this lecture of programming in Python. We will learn different type of data types that are available in Python. We have seen in last class different type of arguments as far as function is concerned. So we had seen positional arguments, keyword arguments, default arguments, and then variable length arguments. So these type of arguments were discussed in last class. Now in the current week, we will discuss different type of data types, and we will start from string data type, then list, tuple, set, dictionary. So these are very popular data types in Python, and it gives us a flexibility to use different type of data actually. And these are especially the dictionary is actually the backbone of pandas library that are available in Python, and which is actually used for data science functionality. So we'll discuss all these in this current week. As far as current lecture is concerned, so I will be discussing how to create a string variable, how to access a string, and there is a one special type of operation that is called slicing. So we'll see how we can perform these operations, and then we'll discuss operation and function of a string, and we'll discuss methods as well. So all these will be covered in current lecture. So what is data type actually? It consists of set of values and a set of operations that can be performed on the value. Let's say you are having integer data, very primitive data type. So what type of data it can contain, and what all operations that are possible on these type of data. Every variable in an object in Python programming, actually every variable that we are using, and some we have already used like integer and string. In today's class, we'll discuss string, similarly list, and so on. So all are actually object in Python programming. And variables of data type are actually the instances, that is the objects. So if we are using list type of data, so actually we are using the instance of list class actually. Similarly, if you are using integer data, so we are actually using the object of integer class. So we have seen as far as different Python data types are concerned. So we have seen numeric, boolean, and as far as numeric is concerned, we have seen integer, and there is one more special type of data that is called complex. So we can create complex type of data using the complex data type. So it actually contains real and imaginary value in the single variable. Similarly, we have seen float, and in today's class we'll discuss string. Apart from these string, we have tuple, list as a sequence, so we consider it as a sequence, and other are like set and dictionary, which we can club it into collection. So these are different data types in Python. And what is a sequence? So actually we are categorizing list, tuple, string under sequence. So sequences are object types in Python that allows the user to store data one after each other. So one by one, actually the data are stored. So we can access sequence using the index value, and some of the sequences are string, list, tuple. So these are string sequences. Now we'll discuss string data type. So string is a sequence of characters. Let's say if I am writing Python, so this is actually a sequence of characters. The string is start and end with same quotes. So either we can use single quote, or we can use double quote to store any string data. Let's say this is Delhi. Similarly, you can use double quote as well, or you could use triple quote as well. for storing string data. The string can be created by simply enclosing characters in quotes or using string function as well, like in this case. So we can initialize a string using the string function as well. So one thing to be noted, Python does not support a character type. There are in certain languages we are having a separate data type that is called character data type. So in Python, like in C, C++, we are having character data type, but in case of Python, there is no such character data type. Character is treated as a string of length 1. If you need to initialize a data variable using a single character, so again that would be treated as a string of length 1. How can we access this string? So the value in a string can be accessed using index. It's very simple. If you need to access this data, so you can use, suppose this is a string 1 variable name, right? So if you want to access the very first character, so just you need to write string 0, right? So it's a very simple way of accessing the data as far as the string is concerned. So an index is a position in the sequence. The list index can be either positive or negative. So index could be positive as well as negative. Positive index start from left of list and it ranges from 0 to length -1. So like in this case, this string is having length of 5, right? So positive index will start from 0 till 4. So if you want to access the last element, so you have to use string 4 in this case. There is a negative index as well. A negative index start from right side of list and it ranges from -1 to the length of the list. So the very last character can be accessed using the string 1 -1. Similarly, the very first string can be accessed using -5, right? So this is very innovative way of accessing the data. Like in other programming languages, let's say C, C++, we are not having a negative index type of terminology. We use only positive index in those languages. Even we can use in index, we can use expression as well, like in this case. So it is these are certain ways through which you can access the data in a string. Strings are immutable. So what does it mean? That is, the character sequences in a string cannot be changed. So once you have initialized, like let's say this is the case, you have initialized the data in string 1. So you cannot modify individual character. So I cannot write string 1, let's say 1 is equal to P. So I cannot write in this way. We cannot modify the individual characters as far as the string is concerned. So that is the meaning of immutable. Yes, we can do what we can do if you want to replace this string with certain others. Let's say if I need to change the very first character of this string, right? So what I will do, I will again initialize with the separate value, like in this case, string 1 is equal to, I replace W with T. So this way you can change your data, but as far as the strings are concerned, so strings are immutable. There are certain operations and functions so that you can apply on a string variable. So the operation that we can perform is slicing. Slicing, it means you want to extract certain characters from a string, and membership, if you want to check whether a character is a member of a particular string or not. Similarly, if you concatenate, if you want to concatenate 2 or more variables, so we can perform these operations. Repeat, again, if you want to repeat one string again and again, right? So using the special operator, we can perform this activity. Similarly, there are certain common functions. Length is to find out the length, index, mean, max, and count. So I will discuss all these operations and functions. So slicing, what does it mean? A slice is an string consisting of elements of given string. So you want to have a consecutive part or a substring of a string or elements from different positions. Like in this case, I have initialized a string variable with Kolkata, right? If you want, if I want to extract some part from this string, so what I will write? I will write string 1 colon 3. So it means it will extract the part 1 O L, that's it. So how it is extracting? So slicing requires 3 index values, low, high and step value. Like in this case, low, high and step value. Default value is 0 for low, 1 for step value and total length minus 1 for high, right? Suppose if I am writing string 1 is equal to daily, right? So if I will write string 1 colon only, not this, let me erase this one. Sorry, I'm erasing this one, and let me select the pen. Yes. So I suppose I am writing string 1 and colon only. So what would happen? By default value is 0 for low and 1 for step value and total length minus 1 for high value. If I am using single colon, it means I am using only low and high value. And what is low? Low in this case is by default is 0 and high is total length minus 1. So it will display the whole string. So in this way, if I am writing in this way, so I will get the whole string, that is daily, since I am using single colon. Similarly, if I am using 2 colon, like string 1 colon and again colon, it means I am using 3 distinct values, that is low, high and step. And by default, the low is 0 and high is length minus total length minus 1 and step value is in this case 1, right? So it will again give me the whole string. Let's say I want to extract only sub string from this string. So like I am writing string 1, let's say 1 colon 2 colon 1. So what does it mean? It would start from first index and it will go to length minus high minus 1, right? And the step value is 1. So it will give me E only, since the high is actually treated as the high minus 1, right? So in this way I can extract different value. So here there are certain examples here. So let's say string 1 is Kolkata. So what it will give, since there is a single colon, so this is the low value and this is the high value, right? So it will start from first index and then will go to high minus 1. So 1, 2 only. So the character would be printed as OL only. And like in this case, it is having 2 columns. So this is the low value, high and then step value. So it will start from 0th index, it means K, and it will go to 4. But the step value is 2. So it will give us K, then L, then A only. So it would jump 2 characters actually, since the step value is 2. And the high value is always the this value minus 1. So in this way you can extract the substring from a string. So in case of slicing, we are actually extracting the consecutive part of a substring, and the consecutive part could be one lane, one character, or the consecutive part would be 2 characters. So I can, depending on the step value, I can decide what character I need to extract, whether I am extracting consecutive characters one by one, or I am extracting consecutive characters after every 2 character or after every 3 characters, and so on. Similarly, we can apply certain operations in string, like concatenation. So if I will apply here A plus B, since A is Python and B is programming, so it would give me Python programming in a whole, right? So A plus B will generate Python, and then programming without any space, right? And repetition asterisk, if you want to repeat something, like let's say I'm repeating 3, a into 3, so it would give me 3 times Python, and then Python, and then Python. So this is the meaning of repetition. Similarly, if is used to find whether a character is present in a string or not. So we'll see that in and not in when we would be reading individual character from a string. So very soon we will see the usage of in operator. Then if you want to find out length of a string, so I will just use length a. So it would give me 6. Length of this string is 6. Similarly, if I can find out minimum character or maximum character, it is having 2 different versions actually. If I am writing minimum a, so it would give me the minimum character in this string. So minimum character is actually in this case is capital P, since the ASCII value of capital P is less as far as other characters is concerned. Similarly, if I am writing minimum of a comma b, so what it will give me? It will give me the minimum word from A and B. So minimum word will be like P, Y, R. So it will give me the minimum word is actually P programming in this case. Right. So it will give me the minimum word. Similarly, if you are using maximum, so again maximum is having 2 different versions. Maximum A, it will give me the maximum character. Maximum A comma B, it would give me the maximum word. And how maximum minimum is treated. So it actually uses the ASCII value of the characters. Now, how can we traverse a string? So using the loop, we can traverse the loop. So there are 2 different ways. Suppose this is the string, there should be a quote as well. So if I need to access this string, so what I will do, I will write for I in A, right? So I can individually I can read individual character from string A, and I will write print I. So it would give me K, then O, then L, K, A, T, A, and so on, like in this way. So what it is doing, it is I'm reading individual characters from a string, from this string A. Other way is I can use a range function as well. So what I can other way is for I in range length of A. So length of A is actually in this case, suppose I'm using A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So length of A is 7. And range actually what it gives, we have already discussed different version of range. So it would give me, if I am using range 7. So what it will give me? Range 7 will give me a list from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on till 6, right? So it will give me a whole list. And now using the index operator, I can access individual characters. So what I will write, I will access the individual character using A and then I. Since I is in this case, in this loop, I is giving me index value, right? So these are 2 different ways through which you can read the string in case of a string data type. Similarly, you can use while loop as well, like in this case. So I'm reading individual index of this string. Now there are certain methods as well in string. So method is actually a method of string class, and the method would be accessed using the object name. Let's say you are having object name, you have created a string str1 is equal to Delhi, right? And then we can apply different type of methods. So method of this string would be accessed using str1 dot 2 upper, 2 lower, and there are different type of methods that we'll discuss now. Like we are having a method case 4, so it would convert a string into lower case. Suppose you are having a string a is equal to Delhi, right? So if you would write a dot case fold, so it will give me all in lower case. So it will give me this value. Similarly, swap case, so it would invert the letters. Lower converts all uppercase letter into a string to a lower case. Similarly, is lower is actually a boolean. It gives me a boolean value, either true or false. If all the characters are in lower case, then it would return true, otherwise false. Similarly, is upper, there is a function, a method is upper, which actually give me true value if all characters are in uppercase. Otherwise, it will give me false value. Similarly, is alpha to check whether a string has all alphabetic characters. Otherwise, it will give us false value. Is digit to check whether all the data is in digit format. Let's say if I am having a string 1, 2, 3. So a dot is digit will actually give me true in this case. Similarly, is alphanumeric, if we are having alphanumeric value, so it will return true, otherwise it is false. Join is used to join two or more different string. So these are certain examples here. Like in this case, if you want to join, suppose I am having here new, and there is one more string that is Delhi, and I want to join these two strings. So what I will write, I'm joining these two string with the space actually. So the target is to have this string. There should be one space and then Delhi. So I'm joining these two words using the space value actually. There should be a single space here. So I would write here this space, then join, and then A comma B. So in this way I can join the string. Similarly, if I want to join with certain other character, let's say I'm joining with slash with this character. So I would write it here, then join A comma B. So it will join new and Delhi as a slash, new slash Delhi. So in this way, I can apply different methods of string. Like in this case, there is one more function that is split. So what does it split does? Split a string according to delimiter space if not provided and return list of substrings. So suppose you are having this string A is equal to Python programming. So if I would write here A dot split, so it would give me Python and as a separate word, and then programming as a separate word. Programming, right? So in this format, I can store the value. This is the way actually it break the string using the space actually. If I am not giving any argument in a split, like in this case, there is no such argument. So by default, it would split using the space. I can also give certain other characters as well. Suppose I know that strings are separated with slash, right? So I would give here slash to separate to split this string into different words. So depending on how individual words are separated, so split method would split the whole string into different words. Now there is a example here, write Python program to check whether a string is palindrome or not, right? So what we will do, if you want to check whether a string is palindrome, so what actually palindrome is? Let's say there is a string Nitin. So if you would start from left, so you will observe then the character that is coming is same when you traverse this string from right to left, right? the characters are actually same. So if you would reverse Nitin, you will get the same string. In this way you can think of. So the very first character is actually equal with the last character. Similarly, the second character is actually similar to second last character, and so on. So how we will proceed? So if you are having this word, so what we will do? We will start from beginning, and as well as we will traverse from last as well. If both the characters are same, then we will move on from both the side till the mid character, Like in this case, suppose you are having Nitin, right? So mid character is T actually. So I would traverse from here left to right. Similarly, I would traverse from right to left. If all the characters are same, then it means it is having palindrome. Similarly, let's say there is a word, let's say A, B, C, and here you have C, B, A. So it is actually a palindrome. So what I will do, I would traverse till mid of the element. So mid is actually 6, the length is 6, so 6 division 3. It's actually integer division. So it would give me, 2. 6 integer division 2. So it would give me 3, right? So I would traverse starting from very first character to the mid of the character, that is 3. Similarly, I would traverse from right to left till character mid of the character. If each and every character from start and last is equal, then it means it is actually a palindrome. Let's see how actually it works. I am switching to IDLE. So here I am writing a code. Let's say I am demanding an input from user, right? Input and enter a word to check whether it is palindrome or not, right? So I'm asking a word from user, and enter a word to check whether it is palindrome or not, right? So A would contain word. Now I would traverse for I in, right, range, then length of A, integer division 2. So what it will give me, suppose I am entering a word having 6 character, 6 length character. So it would give me length A, integer division 2 would give me 3, and range 3 will actually give me 0, 1, 2, right? Then what I will do, I will check. So if A, I would check the very first character and the very last character, right? The target is to check the very first character and the last character. So AI and A, and what is the last character? Let's say I am storing here the whole length, right? I am storing the whole length, LEN and A, right? This is the whole length of the word, and I will use here L divided by length divided by 2, right? So I would start from I minus I plus 1, right? And then so let me show you one thing more here before proceeding this problem. So if I am having, suppose I am having A is equal to Delhi, right? And if I need to find out the very first character. So what I would write, A0, it would give me the very first character. If I need to find out the last character, then I would write A minus 1, right? So A minus 1, minus 1 index is giving me the very last character. Similarly, if I need to find out that the second last character, so what I would write? I would write minus 2. So it would give me the second last character, H in this case. So I would follow this nomenclature actually, this step. What I am doing here, I plus 1, I is 0, I am plus 1, it means 0 plus 1, 1. And I am prefixing minus 1 in this case. So, minus. So, it would give me minus 1 index, right? And when I would be incremented to 1, so this will be A1, right? And this will be 1 plus 1, 2 minus 2, right? So, in this way, I am actually covering characters. Very first character, I am comparing very first character from the last character. Then I would be incremented second character with the second last character and so on. So, in this way, the whole string, I would trace individual characters of the string. If AI is equal to, it means if all the characters is equal in this case. So, it means the string is actually palindrome. If I am writing here not equal, so it means if is there any character which is not equal from start and end, then it means it is not a palindrome. So, I would write here print not a palindrome, right? And not a palindrome and then break. Otherwise, we know there is a one loop, for else loop actually. If all the iteration will be exhausted, it means there is no premature termination. Then the control would come into this else, and I would write here print a string is palindrome, and which is string? The string A actually. So, let me write here A is string, A is palindrome. I am writing A is palindrome, right? Similarly, I am writing here A and then is A is not a palindrome, is not a palindrome. Okay. So, let me execute this one. I am just saving this value desktop and I am giving one name here, test and Python, and let me execute this one, right? Yes, it should have this one. Okay. So, minus 1, okay, and so there are one more, sorry. So, let me execute this one, okay, and enter a word to check whether it is palindrome or not. Let us say I am giving Delhi first. Delhi is not a palindrome, right? Let me execute this one again, and what I would write here, run module again, and this time I will give Nitin. So, Nitin is palindrome. So, in this way you can solve the palindrome problem, right? I hope it is clear to you. What I am doing, I am checking character from both the side, from left to right as well as right to left, right? And individual characters I am comparing. The very first character is compared with the last character and so on. So, in this way you can apply this logic to solve this problem. Let me come to the PPT now. So, we have seen the very first problem. Similarly, you can solve. Sorry. So similarly, you can solve other problem as well. The second one, and similarly, I have given one more problem. Write a Python program to delete e from the end of a given string. Length should be at is 3 and add en at the end. If the string length of the given string is less than 3, leave it unchanged. So I've given some sample string as well. So you need to solve these two questions. I have included 3 questions in this lecture. First, I have solved it here in the classroom, and this next 2 you need to solve at your home. So to summarize what we have discussed in today's class, we have seen how to create a string variable, how to access a string, and how string slicing works, and we have seen operations and functions of a string as well. Thank you so much. We'll meet again in next lecture.